comment, rate, subscribe. Merch in the description. Check out our Facebook pages. We got marketplaces you can buy and sell stuff on. So this is my Sin Shenron OTK deck. So one copy. The leader, 4 Omega Shenron Ultimate Darkness, 4 Oceanus Shenron, sorry, 4 Sin Shenron Negative Energy Explosion, 4 Nova Shenron Power of Darkness, 4 Natoron Shenron Negative Energy Explosion, 4 Eos Shenron Negative Energy Explosion, 4 Goku Da Vinci Begins, 4 4-Star Ball, 4 Protector of the People, 4 Instant Transmission 10-7 Kamehameha, 4 SS4 Bardock Spirit Resonance, 4 Super Saiyan 4 Broly Prismatic Burst, 4 Towa Resonance of Shadow, and 1 Pan Time Patrol Maiden. The goal of the deck is to get as many of these big 20Ks and 30K battle cards into the drop, and then bring them back and take advantage of their base power to deal damage, because it'll be harder for your opponent to out combo all your attacks. You want at least 4 or more Shadow Dragons. This can get you up to 7, but in the deck you only have access to 5. So you either bring back one of the 2 Sin Shenrons, but you can bring her back, bring these guys back. But she doesn't have much attack power, but she is a blocker. This one right here is a barrier blocker. 15k power is alright, not that the best. But this is a 20k blocker with deflect, which is good. This has crit. The cool thing about Sin Shenron is the fact that he has the Spirit Boost ability, so he could attack twice if you can get a unison out. Sorry, if you can get a unison out after the fact and play this card to get his ability. Like for example, let's say you get to 7 energy and you use 6 to play Towa, then add take a second copy of Towa Unison and put it under her to give her marker size. She has 7. Then do the -7 ability and bring back the your Shadow Dragons. So then that means you have 1 energy still available. Or let's say you have 6 energy, you do what I just said, but then you awaken your leader, right? If you have 4 less life or 7 or more Shadow Dragons in your drop area, right? Awaken, draw a card, untap an energy, so that way at least you have 1 energy up, right? That way you can play like your Broly for 1 energy, right? So that way that way you have a unison 1/1 marker on it, right? And he is 10k, so well with the marker it'll be 15k, so you can swing with him, right? Take advantage of that. Then use Sin Shenron's ability to Spirit Boost to take the marker off, which will kill Broly, right? And then he can attack twice. So that's something you can do. Just an idea there. So that way you can have a 20k double strike swinging twice. That has barrier, by the way, so that's important. So if you want to do something like that, so there's synergy there. You can get a similar scenario if you use like an extra copy of Towa for that Spirit Boost strategy, but Broly obviously would be a better choice because at least he'll be 15k at that point in time, because she will only be 10k. She does have obviously an ability to let you draw a card in and do some other stuff, right? So there's that, but you get the idea of that strategy. But we have a 30k triple strike, which you'll definitely want to bring back, and then just bring back any of the other ones. What's nice about Naturon Shenron is the fact that he can, when this card is played from your hand. So keep in mind that this -7 lets you play from your hand or drop. So if you play him from your hand with her effect and play all the other Shenrons from your drop, then you'll be able to trigger his effect. And then his effect is choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost 5 or less in the battle area or drop area, which is nice, right? Drop area being an option, and place it under this card. Choose up to one of the chosen card's keyword skills, and this card gains it until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can grab like triple strike or you know, dual attack or double strike, stuff like that. So that's an added bonus of him. So you can get potentially extra attacks. So the idea, what I'm saying is that you don't need a lot of shadow dragons to try to, you know, go for game. The ability to attack more than once helps. So that's why getting this out and hopefully getting double strike. I mean dual attack, so you can attack more than once, or at least double strike. The idea is to try to deal damage, because your opponent should be at least at 2 life by the time you do this. So you only need 2 damage to go through. So this becoming a double strike, 20k, right? And this being 20k double strike already. And if you do the little strategy I was talking about, then you could potentially make it attack twice, and that right there is potential 6 damage that your opponent has to try to out combo, right? Try to stop. But if they don't and it gets through, then you win, right? Because you dealt the last 2 damage you needed to win. So there's that. And then we got you know, this one right here is 20k crit, which comes in, you know, which is decent, because if this attack goes through, your opponent doesn't plus from it. But me personally, I prefer a whole bunch of double strikes. But the other options were Sin Shenron, and the way the unison works is that it's based off of the character name, which is you might be able to see it. You know, there's character, special trait. So the character name. So this is Sin Shenron Zeno, and this is Sin Shenron Zeno. And you can only have one Sin Shenron Zeno, so you get that idea. So that's why you have to choose between this one or this one. Can't have both. I wish I got both, but according to the way this is worded, you can only have one of either one of these. So you can have one of the other ones, obviously. But when it comes to these two, you can only have one of them. All right. Work. Now I don't remember what I was. What was the last thing I was saying? So of course, the goal is to stall. You want to use your leader's ability as well as your Bardock to, to you know, cycle through your deck, right? So when you'll see some gameplay of this, I use Goku Adventure Begins to, you know, search the balls from my deck to thin out my deck, then use Bardock to draw, and then use the leader's ability. When you swing with it, second auto, you attack with it, you discard a Shadow Dragon in order to draw a card. Then at the end of your turn, you switch this card to active mode. So you will obviously pitch your Shadow Dragons. They all have the auto that when they are discarded from your hand, right, or they're played from your hand, which is also an important detail, you can look at the top card of your deck. If it's a Shadow Dragon card, add that card to your hand. Otherwise, place it at the bottom of your deck. And every time that I did this auto, I kept getting a Shadow Dragon, so that was always nice. So always guaranteed I got a Shadow Dragon in the drop, and I was able to draw another Shadow Dragon that I could use to combo defensively, and then, you know, get dragons in the drop, which you want. Dragons in the drop. Drop. And then -7 and bring them back, right? Simple, straightforward strategy, not that complicated. We got Oceanus, Protect the People, Instant, you know, Transmission, Tensai, Kamehameha, plus the reusability of the 4-star balls to, you know, combo, so that we can negate attacks and then combo. And then of course we have Pan. She can, if you use her right, I used her wrong, the gameplay. But if you use it right, you know, you can get yourself an extra turn. So there's some floodgate negates in there. Bardock has a -2 ability where your opponent can't attack with the battle cards unless they warp a card from the hand. So triggering that and then dropping Pan. But triggering that as a, you know, in general, because it's a good effect, will reduce your opponent's wanting to attack. And warping cards from the hands will make it harder for them to combo when they have less cards to combo, right? Which is always good. And then you're using the 4-star balls to take advantage of the fact that you're not really minusing when you combo defensively, because you can always add them back to your hand. But at the same time, but at the same time, you know, just for extra measures, it's always good to have a backup, because if your opponent has no problem attacking, right, have no problem attacking and warping cards from the hands, then Pan comes in handy in that regards. And if you just happen to have a Super Saiyan 4 Broly, he has an auto, which, remember, it's an auto. I keep trying to use it like it's an active battle, but it's an auto. So when your opponent attacks your leader, trigger this immediately. Get this card's auto. Remember, this is an auto. This is a counterattack. So I made the mistake of playing this first and then wanting to play this, but it's like, this is an auto, not a active battle. So I'm supposed to trigger this first, right? I have 4 markers, so I could just minus all 4 of the markers onto my leader, so I can give my leader, you know, the extra, because I was awakened, so I give my leader the extra 20k, so I'd be 35k, because my opponent was attacking with 40k, and then drop this in response. No, I'm thinking I'm saying it wrong, because it's no, I'm saying right. It's counter auto. Oh, that's what it is. It's counter auto. Kaba counter. So no, I did play it right. I played her right. What I didn't do was play the auto. That's what I went wrong. Okay, so you counter, then activate. Then your opponent gets to activate his auto if he has one. If he doesn't, then you play your unison, and then after that, blocker, and then auto again. You get the idea. The thing is that I allowed my opponent to get to the, because I told him, it's like, oh, this doesn't negate your attack, so you can obviously combo, and that's where I messed up, because I was supposed to trigger this card's auto to power up my leader, and then let my opponent combo. And I had the ability to out combo the attack, so that was the idea. Get this effect, so that way my leader's strong, and I can just combo cards from my hand out, which were Shadow Dragons, so I can out combo and get more dragons in the drop, and then after that he wouldn't be able to attack no more because of this. I also misplayed that I waited until the second attack from the 40k battle card, because it was his ultimate, to play this, because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that when he played his ultimate, that was the 4th battle card I needed to play this for free, because I was tapped out, by the way. So it's like, oh man, I actually can play her now because there's 4 battle cards. The thing is that I waited until like the second attack to try to do this, and then I messed up the auto. So it's like, all right, made too many misplays, so I'll just take the L. So that's what happened in that now. But you know, you make sure you play her right. You know, get the most out of her. And my opponent's hand size was really small. I think he got down to like 3 cards. So if I played my cards right, I would have survived that turn. And then my opponent, you know, having a small hand would have increased my chances of still having her in play. And you know, next turn I would have, on the, you know, I could have won on the clapback, you know, or at least have the ability to fight back on the clapback. Plus, I had so many negates in my hand, I just needed energy untapped. So that was a thing. You'll see it in the gameplay, and not much else to say. Everything's pretty much self-explanatory. Most of these, you know, you can read their effects, use them. I mainly use them for the fact that 20k bodies or 30k with triple strike, and we just use the leader's auto for less life you awaken. Same thing in the backside, we just use the leader's second auto that when we attack, we discard a card to draw, that kind of stuff. On the awakened side of this leader, when this card attacks, draw a card, then this card gets 5k power for the turn. At the end of your turn, you'll switch attack to mode. So you don't discard on the awakened side anymore, but on the unawakened side is when you discard, but you don't have to discard anymore on the awakened side. And that's about it. That's all we get out of that, and that's the end of the video.